Alrighty guys, we're back for some Dimir Ninjas, and this is a March the Machine, the Aftermath, Standard Brew. We're gonna go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to ya. Also, we do get that Discord link as well as that brand new Patreon link down in the description if you're interested in joining either of those up. Okay, what do we got in the build here? We'll start at the beginning. We got all four Fading Hopes, gonna be good in here. We got all four Network Disruptors. It's a 1 mana, 1/1 artifact creature. It's got flying, which is gonna be very important. And when Network Disruptor enters the battlefield, tap target permanent. It's also a rogue, which is gonna come in handy. So we got a Rona's Vortex in here, effectively acting as like an additional Fading Hope, but I do think the Fading Hope's Scry is going to come in handy way more than the Rona's kicker cost, and also Fading Hope can target our own creatures as well, and Rona's Vortex, actually, we don't get to see this card too much, so I'll read it real quick. The 1 mana instant speed, it's got a kicker for 2 and a black. Return target creature or planeswalker you don't control to its owner's hand, and if this spell was kicked, put that permanent on the bottom of its owner's library instead. Not bad, yes, it really isn't. I just think Fading Hope's going to be a little bit better in this deck in particular. We got 2 Slip Out the Backs. I guess we do see this enough, but I should read it just in case. It's a 1 mana instant speed. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and then it phases out. Protection from those Sunfall decks is very essential, man. So Slip Out the Back's obviously going to come in handy. Got all 4,000 Faced Shadow. This is a 1 mana, 1/1 with flying. It's got ninjutsu for 2 and double blue. And when Thousand Face Shadow enters the battlefield from your hand, if it's attacking, in other words, if you use that ninjutsu ability, or essentially, right, create a token that's a copy of another target attacking creature. The token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. That can be a very powerful, especially when paired with Silver Fur Master, and then you copy the Silver Fur Master. This is a 2 mana, 2/2 rock and Dimir colors up there. It's got ninjutsu for a blue and a black. Ninjutsu abilities you activate cost 1 less to activate. Well, that's nice. Other ninja and rogue creatures you control get +1/+1. So that's why I said the rogue on the disruptor is going to come in handy, right? Yeah, pretty powerful card, I would say, guys. Of course, you have to build around it, but still, yeah, it's going to be an MVP in here probably. Another card that I think is going to be an MVP is Saiba Cryptomancer. This is a 2 mana 0/1 with flash. It has backup for 1, so when it enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. If that's another creature, it also gains the abilities printed below this one until the end of turn, and what's printed below is hexproof, so that'll be solid protection, man. And it's a ninja, so it totally fits the theme. I love that it has flash, which is why I actually packed some counter spells in here. We have a single negate. There's a lot of non-creature spells. I literally can't think of a deck that doesn't have a target that we wouldn't mind hitting with negate, so that's a thing, right? Have a single Essence Scatter, kind of the same concept. It's like every deck that I can think of is running like a good balance of creatures and non-creatures, so I thought we'd try out one of each and just see how it goes, right? I'm not much of a counterspell player, so I guess these could be your counterspells of choice or whichever counterspells you're having the most luck with right now, right? But obviously all 4 Make Disappears, as I do think it's probably the best counterspell in Standard. I don't think there's much argument to be made about how good Make Disappear is, so yeah, all 4 of them. And we have a couple Moon Circuit Hackers here too. It's a 2 mana 2/1 with ninjutsu for only 1 blue. And when Hacker deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, you discard a card unless Moon Circuit Hacker entered the battlefield this turn. Pretty good, guys. It really is. But instead of like 4 of these, I wanted the 4 Cryptomancers instead. Maybe it should be like 3 Cryptomancers and 3 Hackers, because that extra card draw really does come in handy. But I don't know. I kind of just, I really want to see the Cryptomancer in the Ninja build. We played with this recently in the, geez, I forget what list. It was the last Esper list we did, and it was pretty decent, honestly. I really like that hexproof. Of course, you can always target itself with the backup too, and it'll be just a 1/2 with hexproof, which honestly isn't that bad, is it? Okay, our 3 drop spots, guys. We got all 4 Prosperous Thief. It's a 3 mana 3/2 ninjutsu for 1 and a blue. Whenever 1 or more ninja or rogue creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. Nice. That'll come in handy often, all the time, actually. if you're swinging in and you're playing creatures and you're using your mana to get creatures down, then you don't usually have enough to keep open a counterspell or protection for your creatures, so that the extra treasures is just going to be absolutely huge, right? So we have a single Halo Forager here. It's a 3 mana, 3/1. It is a fairy rogue, so it kind of sort of fits the theme. I think that it has, since it has flying, it's going to really come in handy, right? All the, like, flying over the opponent's creatures is so essential to actually get the ninjutsu abilities going, right? So I don't know how often we're going to use ninjutsu and bounce the Forager back to hand, but it does have an ETB, so you never know, right? So when it enters the battlefield, you may pay X. When you do, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with mana value X from a graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, exile instead. Now, it's only a one of because we don't have like too much in here. It's not like we have like 3 cut downs and 3 go for the throats as well, or anything fancy like that. Realistically, we're just, if we're ever using that ability, we're using it for 4 mana to cast back a Fading Hope, which really could go a long way, huh? And then also, since it's a rogue, if you got a silver for a master or 2 out there, this could be pretty ridiculous in the air and help you close out a game. So we have 2 Kaito Shizukis in here as well. It's a 3 mana, 3 loyalty legendary planeswalker that I feel like we just don't see enough, honestly. At the beginning of your end step, if Kaito Shizuki entered the battlefield this turn, he phases out, which is a really good ability. He's got a +1 here. Draw a card, and then discard a card unless you attack this turn. That's great. Got a -2, generates a 1/1 ninja that can't be blocked. That's great too. We're not really looking at the -7 for this deck in particular, so I'm not going to go over it. Okay, the mana base, guys. It might be a little excessive, but I've actually been getting really unlucky with my 2-color mana bases. So I'm just opting for all the dual land, man, all the rare dual land. And I even squeezed a Raffine's Tower in here too, which of course could be a Xander's Lounge. And like I said, it might be a little excessive. So you could just like trade this out for a basic swamp or another island, honestly, because literally everything has blue in here, and we're realistically just splashing the black for certain cards. Like I keep bringing up, I've been having a lot of success with Mirrex, so I slotted a Mirrex in as well. Abandoned Mire, Soaring City, heavily leaning towards the islands. We got some honorable mentions over here, guys. Just removal in general, cut down and go for the throat, stuff like that might be essential, but not this time around. I just kind of sort of couldn't find room for it, and we got like counter spells and a little bit more of the tempo side going here. Thought about Spell Dancer, since it is a rogue that can't be blocked, it maybe would be a cool one to think about here, huh? The Prowler is actually pretty decent. Last couple times we played with it, like the lifelink really comes in handy, but not this time around, huh? Biting Palm Ninja's like kind of sort of really strong, and it's super weird that we don't see this anywhere, but yeah, not in this build in particular, but yeah, strong ninja. Keep an eye on it, right? Sort of once in future, I thought about over the Halo Forager, but I think just having more creatures in a deck like this is going to be a little bit more important. And sort of once in future, again, would be a little bit better if we were playing with Go for the Throats and Cut Downs in here. And March of the Swirling Mist is just a really great tempo card, just in general. Couldn't find room for it this time, but yeah. Oh, guys, 22 total land. I think we should be fine, but that's another reason we're rocking the Raffine's Tower, as I've been flooding out a lot recently, so you never know when that cycle ability will come in handy. Okay, guys, is that everything? Relatively simple build. We've seen a lot of these cards in the past, but so far in the past that I thought we'd go over a lot of them just in case, right? For my own sake as well. All right, guys, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. All right, guys, we'll see if we can get right into that first game here. Other than that, what am I expecting from the list? I am expecting a ton of fun, dude. The last few times I've played Tempo, there's something just so satisfying. There's something so satisfying about Tempo, man. It's like that you actually get to keep creatures on the board. You know what I mean? Okay. Right. This is good, right? We go first here. Okay, yeah, this is great, dude. For a hand like this where we have like the 3 creatures, I guess it would be better to see the Negate, right? To stop the spot removal from landing, but Essence Scatter is still pretty good. But that's definitely something to think about. Maybe we'll talk more about that in the final thoughts where, oh, we should have just had 2 negates, or maybe Spell Pierce would be a decent one to think about for this build too. I don't know why I didn't put Spell Pierce in the honorable mentions, but honestly, a bunch of different counter spells probably should have made the honorable mentions, right? Opponent, are you there, buddy? Opponent, I'm recording a video. This is a great time to mention. I always keep chapters at the bottom of the video and timestamps in the description as well. Always feel free to skip ahead. I do like to keep everything in, especially for test hands and stuff like that. We do have a limited number of hands. Plus, I always ramble my way through waiting anyways, and we always have a lot to talk about. Oh, man. So, it might be a good time to actually bring up the Patreon too, right? A brand new Patreon. We got 3 tiers over there. It's a $5 tier, a $10 tier, and a $15 tier as well. By the way, guys, how long does it actually keep us waiting? Oh, there it is. Okay, I was actually getting a little concerned that this was on my end, right? Well, GG opponent. Maybe they'll show up, maybe they won't. Anyways, about that Patreon. Essentially, the main draw to the Patreon is you get access to an exclusive Discord channel where you can post Patreon suggestions. And then those Patreon suggestions are way more likely to be featured on the channel then. So it's explained a little bit more. Oh, the opponent has arrived, guys. Let's go. Oh, man. All right, nothing to target with Disruptor. We're really just playing it as a 1-mana card. Uh-oh, guys. We got maybe a troll player? I don't know. I like to give opponents the benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe they froze, and maybe they're still freezing, right? But either way, worst comes to worst, I can always edit the match down too. And if I do edit the match down, then you guys won't hear me rambling about the Patreon like I just was. But okay, good. The timer starts a little bit sooner. That's good news. And yeah, always keep an eye on the chapters and everything of the videos. But yeah, we actually did a Patreon suggestion video for last week's videos, which was it was a really fun one. Oh, Urborg Scavengers, guys. That was the deck that had Cryptomancer in it. Yeah. Yeah, for the Patreon suggestion, we played Urborg Scavengers. Aw, opponent. Oh no. I think something was up there, right? I don't think that was like a troll. I think like maybe they were freezing or something, and then they just eventually had to give up. Something was going on there. That was a little weird, right? Because if it was a troll, maybe they would have been spamming emotes and everything. You got to give the opponents the benefit of the doubt, guys, because we've definitely froze before and probably held up some opponents. There we go, right into the next one. I apologize, guys, for games like that, but it is what it is. It was a great hand. It was a really good hand, actually. Opponent goes first. Okay. Yeah. This is also a really good hand. These hands have been great, huh? It would have been much better had we gone first here, but okay. Soldiers going first. Yep. Darkslick Shores. They probably don't have anything on 2 to take care of a 1000-Face Shadow, not like they would want to, right? They'd much rather play out their Thalia for the turn or anything like that. Swing with Frontliner. Yep, that's getting on through. Now we got Prosperous Thief open for the turn, but I don't like that they have 2. It's probably Resolute Reinforcements, honestly, though. I can't imagine it being a whole lot of other things. Although you never know. Alright, Ninjutsu. It could be 2-mana removal. But it's probably reinforcements. Oh, the problem is reinforcements can actually block the thief well, but they'd rather keep their soldiers, luckily. At this point, since they're about to drop the 3rd, we should probably keep Slip the Back open. slip out the back open, right? So, yeah. See if it was the reinforcements. It was. So they probably have a way to buff the wide board state. Because other than that, I think that would have been a great trade for them. So I think they just have a way to buff it on up and try to be a little bit, or try to outpace us, right? There's the buff. Okay, well, we have the Rona's Vortex. We can slow it down that way. Since nothing targeted the Thief, we probably should. It's 3 less damage, and they'll have to cast the Veteran again next turn. I wouldn't mind banishing this to the bottom of the library, though. Now, we should take less damage, right? I think. It's a tough decision, guys. I don't really want to spend 4 mana just to put the Veteran on the bottom of the library either, so taking 3 less damage and making them cast that back out seems pretty good. They still had a frontliner to play. Wow. Soaring City can stay in hand. Okay. Okay. I wonder if they block here. I don't think they do. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. I think we're just like in trouble in general. If we just play out Prosperous Thief, it's a little risky because they could block, but if they don't block, if they do block, it's fine, right? Because the front... Okay. Excuse me, guys. My voice is doing something strange there. Okay. So at least the frontliner isn't buffing again, and they didn't want us to get 2 mana for the second Thief. I don't think that was that bad, was it? I don't think so. And we still kind of, sort of... We could still block a 3-2 here and only take 4. 4 mana next turn. Some tough decisions, man. I think that's fine. Take 4 instead. Don't want to forget that they can bring back frontliner when it comes time. Oh, they did have more mana too. Luckily, we know it's not a second Veteran because they would have done that before combat for sure. Keeping 2 open could be like another Resolute Reinforcements, which would be really bad for us. I feel like our hand in the last game would have... It was another Valiant Veteran. Huh. I'm not sure what that's about, but okay. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? Silver Fur Master first. Could tap down one of the Veterans. I don't know about that, honestly. Probably play this. Play Silver Fur Master, buff the Thief, right? I don't know if we want to do Thousand Face Shadow, but I do know tapping one of the Veterans doesn't help either. But we might as well. We could slip out the back, the other one too. We will have slip out... I'm sorry, opponent. I am thinking, buddy. See, if we play everything, if the Thief gets through... Yeah, Disruptor is probably just going to be played for the sake of having a creature anyways, but I'd rather keep the 2 open here. Okay. So we are getting a treasure. They're down to 12. So Thousand Face Shadow next turn is going to be so much better, right? Because we might be able to target the Silver Fur Master. If we can somehow survive... then we might win next turn. Bounce the Disruptor back, copy Silver Fur. I think our best chance of survival is blocking and then using slip out the back on the blocker. So they bring back the frontliner. They're going to go for that full swing, right? Oh no, Harbin. Oh, we still have a blocker in the air though, luckily. But it's not enough, is it? Wait, I could, Oh, wait, hold up. What's going on here now? If you attack with 5 or more soldiers. Oh, here it comes. We could have slipped out the back the Harbin. Right? Yeah, no, Harbin's rough though, dude. That's super rough, man. There's no way to stop that, right? I should have used Slip Out the Back on Harbin, but then we still would have been in a really sticky situation. Ah, that's rough. That's rough. So we'll lose our flyer. 1, 2. Wait, 11 over here, which means if we slip out the back the other veteran, we'll be alive. Right? 1 blocker. Yeah, the worst thing about this is just losing our flyer in the air, so that way the Thousand Face Shadow can't do its thing next turn. Oh! It was still 10? Wait. What was my life total at? I miscounted somewhere, or I wasn't thinking of something. 3, 3, 10. We blocked that. We slipped that out the back. Was I at 10? Not 11? What was I doing there, guys? That's what I'm gonna have to go back in the video and watch what the heck was going on there. Either way, I thought we may have survived a turn, and if we did, since we didn't have the flyer in the air to bounce back for the Thousand Face Shadow, we would have had to like bounce back the Prosperous Thief instead, and we still would have been able to copy the Silver Fur Master. It still wouldn't have been enough though, right? So we would have had a Thousand Face Shadow and 2 Silver Fur Masters for what, 9 damage, I guess, is what it would have been. So yeah, the Harbin was like worst case scenario. Another really worst case scenario would have been like Brutal Cathar before combat. Cathar comes down, targets one of the creatures. We would have had to protect it with Slip Out the Back or not protected it. So yeah, I think we were stuck between a rock and a hard place that match, guys. Although I do think that could have gone either way, and especially with that Thousand Face Shadow, ninjas can be super explosive. I wish we would have been able to see it there. But we'll probably see it again in a different match here. Because we do have, I mean, it's a 4 of in the build. Yeah, I guess if I would have slipped out the back the Harbin beforehand, everything still would have been on the ground anyways, and it still would have had a decent buff. We still would have been forced to block, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. The opponent needed to have nothing there, which would have been really rare. Okay. Probably the worst hand of the evening, but it's also just like not bad, right? I think this is keepable. Oh, the Dross Pits. Okay, nice. Darkslick Shores. Cryptomancer's open. It'd be nice to see some of our make disappears for some of these games, huh? Do we play Cryptomancer? We probably try it. It has hexproof, which is the crazy thing, man. Since it doesn't get picked up by spot removal, we'll actually be able to bounce it back with the Prosperous Thief. That being said, of course, we won't have the 2 mana to protect the Prosperous Thief right away, so maybe we'd want to wait. Nah, we got 2 Prosperous Thief, so we swing, see what happens. If it lands, then we'll have the 2 mana for Cryptomancer, but there's no way this is going to get through, man. We have to slip out the back, though, if we want to do that. That could kind of be fun. Oh, it lands, and now we have Cryptomancer open to protect the Prosperous Thief. Dude, nice. You see Orzhov colors over there, and you're just like, there's just absolutely no way. But no, it got through, and the opponent did nothing for the turn. Wow. Ossification. It's the first piece. All right, we'll go Cryptomancer. Yay, tempo side of things. Let's see if they have something on top. They do not. Because they still had 2 mana open to put something on top of the stack there. Wow, dude. This is great. I called it the worst hand of the evening, but this is terrific. Because we still have the, we have so much mana open now. Slip Out the Back, Cryptomancer is available. Fading Hopes. This is crazy, dude. The only thing that could make that better is a make disappear, right? So slip out the back, you. And I will protect you. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Silver Fur. Wow, great card to have on top, man. The Sunfall hits nothing. If we play Cryptomancer now, then we can use it to trade out for the Silver Fur. Okay. And we'll probably just want as much mana open as possible here, right? We might just do Prosperous Thief instead. No. Wait. Should I have just played the Silver Fur? Oops, I should have just played the Silver Fur, guys. I really should have. Kind of an oopsie daisies. I was so excited to use ninjutsu abilities, and I kind of missed lethal damage here. Because I could have just played the Silver Fur. Hopefully that doesn't bite me in the butt, right? Yeah, we'll just hold everything back because it's probably going to be another board wipe. Sunfall, okay. All right, so I suppose Silver Fur's the one to save, right? Fading Hope again. I'm actually going to send that to the bottom. Yeah, guys, so don't blame the deck there. I could have just cast out the Silver Fur and then played the other Prosperous Thief on the Cryptomancer. Either way, we have Cryptomancer's Flash, but yeah. So it could have happened a turn early. Hey, that would have been good. Also, just play the Silver Fur for the 2 damage too. Don't get too excited with the ninjutsu abilities. Sometimes you're just going to want to cast the Silver Fur. GG opponent, how good does it feel to win against double Sunfall, guys? That was awesome, dude. Holy cow. Oh, man. All right, let's keep the ball rolling. Feels good so far, dude. I think like Cryptomancer is one of those cards. It's just like looking for the right home. And I mean, it's right there on the card. It's a ninja, so maybe ninja is the right home. All right, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? Got Mirrex this time round, huh? Okay, so the land, the hand's good, the land is not. Like, because if we do a turn 1, then there's no guaranteed turn 2 because the Mirrex will lose that ability here for add 1 of any color. So if we choose for a turn 2, though, I'm going to opt for a turn 1 play because we have a bunch of land in here and a bunch of it comes down untapped. I think that's totally fine. See, this is... Yep, there we go. Nice. It worked out. Worked out beautifully. Okay, do I play it? I do. We get ready for next turn. We're trying to go as fast as possible. Hopefully we'll get a draw on the Moon Circuit Hacker. See if they get like a blocker down on the ground for the Thief, then the Marsh is the play into the Disruptor. We'll still have 2 open. We can tap the 1/1. That is still the play, correct? I believe so. Tap that down. Swing on in. Make sure the Thief gets through for max amount of damage. This happens, and right now the Mirrex is holding us up a little bit, but at least we're getting treasures and everything. At this point, I think we keep... Ooh, another Marsh. Okay. I think we keep Cryptomancer open, right? And keep the Thousand Face Shadow in hand to potentially ninjutsu it next turn. I think that seems pretty cool. Okay, Proving Grounds. Okay. So it's a lot of... Okay, I see. I see. What do we call these decks? The Atraxa Ramp, but like it also has Domain usually. or domain cards squeezed in. Like attracts a reanimator, I guess, but they don't really focus on reanimation. I think they just outright cast Atraxa usually. Oh, there's their 5th color. Okay. We could play Cryptomancer for the sake of having another creature on the board just target itself, right? Because they're at 12, they only have 1 blocker here. We'll still have the 4th mana if we want to copy something with Thousand Faced. Okay, I'm gonna do it. More creatures on the board. Target itself. Kaito. Ooh, okay. What are we bouncing back here? I guess it depends where they block, which they're probably blocking the Thief. Thing is, they know we have Thousand Faced. Maybe bounce the Cryptomancer back? Oh, they want to trade. Okay, so it's more damage getting through then. At that point, it's Cryptomancer back to hand, right? That way we can have its ability another time. Wouldn't mind the draw here, but I think just more damage with the Thief is much better. Down to 4, getting a couple treasure tokens. Cryptomancer's open, and we're hoping that there's no board wipe from the opponent, right? If it's spot removal, we got that covered, man. Anything else would be pretty bad. That's where the slip out the backs would come in handy. This is working out pretty nicely, guys. But honestly, the ninja... Yeah, nice. GG. GG opponent. Ninjas in general have always worked out relatively nicely. You know, they should maybe have the jank in the title, but honestly, I don't know. It's one of those things. We've always had a lot of success with ninjas, but then why is no one else ever playing ninjas? It's probably because maybe we're getting a little lucky sometimes. You know what I mean? Maybe people should be playing ninjas. I don't know. We're doing fine though so far. I think the deck's drawing really well. Against those slower decks, like they're kind of in trouble, man. And this is what I mean by tempo is so satisfying to play. Because it gives so much protection for your creatures. Meanwhile, you're like tapping the opponent's creatures, bouncing them back to hand. Okay, now this is definitely the worst hand of the evening, right? It's gotta be. It's gotta be. All right, let's try it out, huh? This might actually, like, it's nice to see three land. It's nice to see, like, cards to play, but it actually might be a mulligan hand. It really might be. Because the Cryptomancers aren't doing a whole lot on their own. Oh. Same deck? Same opponent? I have no idea. Got to start looking at the opponent's names. I have a bad habit of skipping over the names. Alright, we just keep it open. It's probably the same style of build, though. Herd migration, there's the domain, so it tracks on the top end. Alright, Cryptomancer comes down. Let's hope we draw a ninjutsu creature. Make disappear, not bad. Those will really come in handy, bro, so... Alright, let's swing on in. Yay, 1 damage. The opponent probably has so many big things to play. That's worth it. Yeah. Stopping 2 of their ramp. Yeah, that's worth it. We just need to figure out a way to do even more damage, right? All right, swing for 1. Opponent's down to 21. We're almost there, guys. Okay. All right. I'll stop it again. I think that's completely fine. I'm actually just going to play the second Cryptomancer too, target itself. More land, okay. All right. Down to 19, almost there. Waiting for the board wipe too, because we can now... Oh, nice. Oh no, they're back up to 22, guys. Jeez. Well. next to their hand, then they can play it. They actually missed a couple drops. Slip out the back for more damage, but no, that's definitely not worth it. In a deck that could potentially run board wipes easily. Thousand Face Shadow. Nice. There we go. Okay. There we go. It's like something to do, so... Swing. Still have 2 open, too. This is where, like, another Make Disappear would be really good. And we copy Cryptomancer, and I guess we'll give the counter to the copy? What do we want to give the counter? A Thousand Face Shadow, give it hexproof. But we still have the other Cryptomancer in hand, too, so... 2 in the air. No. There's a chance that we actually trade out the Thousand Face Shadow for another ninjutsu ability, right? So that way we can do it again. Back down to 19. We're really struggling for damage. But so far, not so bad. Sunfall, okay. So we'll go slip out the back on Cryptomancer. And we'll go Fading Hope on Thousand Faced and let the token die. Kaito, that's probably worth keeping, right? On top? Yes. I think so. I think so. Okay. So... Kaito, right? I guess we'll keep Cryptomancer. They can see everything in our hand. I wonder if generating a creature would even be worth it here over a draw. I feel like a draw might be a little better. Kaito phases out too, which is so good. Silverfur, okay, that is excellent, but we have to play around another Sunfall. They don't know we have this. We have plenty of mana on the board. Okay. Yeah, Silverfur is a really good draw. Okay, Briefcase, yeah. That does block the 2/3. The good news, oh, Celestis, let's go. All right. I'm not alone in the Celestis fan club. That's good. All right, let's get the Cryptomancer back down. For the sake of just, like, playing things, dude. You know what I mean? We got to get stuff onto the board. Especially if we want to do our ninjutsu abilities. Kaito, okay, not bad. I mean, this first one's probably going to die to something at some point, so... We just play out Silverfur Master. Right, instead of waiting for the ninjutsu. But we're out of protection, guys. Oh, Leyline Binding on the Kaito. Okay. Dang. I guess we should have thought of that as an option. So we should have used a Kaito ability first, and then would the ability have gone through before the Leyline Binding hit? I think so, actually. Alright, we can play Kaito number 2, but I think we're going to go Thousand Face Shadow. Especially since... Aw, man. Leyline Binding number 2. Alright. This is still worth it, though, right? Right? I think so. I am scared of a Sunfall, but... This is funny, dude. What a game. What a weird one. What a weird one. I guess we... stick to that strategy of putting the counter right back on it. Yeah, second Sunfall would be really bad. They go for the Celestis ability. Yeah, these domain builds can be pretty rough, man. They've gained how much life? I think they just played 2 herd migrations, so 6 life total so far. So not that much, honestly. Cryptomancer is available. I wouldn't mind drawing and discarding to see if we can find a ninjutsu. Because we can discard the Raffine's Tower. See if it lands. See, finding, like, ninjutsu cards now, like, every turn really matters. Make Disappear for 4. Wow, okay. Yep. I guess we resolve, right? and decline. That's pretty good for the opponent. Resolve. Alright, Cryptomancer for their turn, or Raffine's Tower. They didn't have enough to power up the 1/1. They're at 10 now. I mean, we're kind of getting there. We've dealt a ton of damage, even though we didn't think we were dealing a ton of damage. So honestly, it might just be Cryptomancer, man. It seems really bad to play when they have so much that targets like Leyline Binding, but just more damage, right? Or filter. Ah, it's just one more damage. Okay, I'm gonna filter. Beans Tower cycle. Network Disruptor. And the 4th Cryptomancer. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, they all have flash. Could go a little extra damage for the turn. Looks like they are gonna chump on the ground here. The 2/3, probably. Still have 1 mana open. They're fizzling out, guys. If we can get them to just not draw too much. The problem with Celestis is it's like always an MVP. I am gonna tap that Celestis, even though it immediately untaps. Worth it. Leyline Binding. What do you guys think? They top deck a Sunfall? What do you guys think? Cryptomancer, protect the Disruptor. Let's see it. Okay, and they get to filter here too with the Celestis, so... Honestly, guys, we've been against enough of these domain builds, it's probably just going to be the 4th Leyline Binding. Oh! Herd Migration. Oh, crap. Well, that pretty much gets rid of everything we have on the ground. We better get more damage in the air. Network Disruptor. Not the 1000 Faced, because we could be bouncing that back. We have 4 in the air. Island is not what we want to see. What a match, guys. What a match. All right. Celestis brings him back up to 6, unfortunately. Filtering that out. Yep. Stomper. Nice. Okay, more ground power. What a cool game, dude. This is a fun one. It's crazy to me that we're in this, though. It really is. Okay, Celestis ability. Okay. Since they played Stomper, it's actually not even switching back to Knight, so... We could block with the Cryptomancers successfully, the 0/1s, right? So but they definitely want to keep enough blockers back for the other Cryptomancers. I don't think we want to give that to them, right? I don't think so. I'd rather chump for the turn. Aw, more land off the top, guys. That's really bad. We still have some chump blockers to protect our life. Come on, guys. They're going back up to 4. Oh, no, back up to 5 if they activate the ability. Atraxa off the top, bro. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hey, wait. Guys, wait. If they don't activate Celestis and they don't gain any life here, and we top deck like a Fading Hope, we just Fading Hope Atraxa back to their hand and swing in the air. I mean, I guess they could play something else too, but still. Okay, Zendikar, Sunfall, Atraxa. Atraxa number 2. Yep, swing with Stomper. Sunfall. Swing face. Okay. All right, we are... There's a chance. There's a chance, dude. Take 6 to our face. There's 1 Fading Hope, so we have Rona's Vortex, right? There's 4 cards in this deck. Like a 1 in 10 chance. Come on, guys. I believe in the heart of the cards, man. No, another land! Oh, man. It has been decided, my friends. So we keep it all back, and now we're, like, super dead, unfortunately. Because they're going back up to 11. Man. I mean, hey, I said it when we were going over the deck. I've been flooding out a lot. So, like, the cycling actually came in handy on the tower, which was nice to showcase. Everything else about the list, I think it just kind of works, doesn't it? I think so. Yeah, Celestis being just an absolute MVP every time I see it, man. And I rarely see it on the opponent's fields, but definitely give it a shot if you haven't. In mid-range style builds, right? Mid-range decks, a 1 of is fine. Some of them I easily could see it a 2 of. Found an ossification. I don't see us getting past this. It's full swing to face for sure. We block the Stomper, we can chump the Atraxa, and then it's just like next turn. Looks like they're still being a little cautious here, though. They might even keep one back. 9, so what? We chump here. I'm a little surprised that they didn't just full swing at face, but it makes sense to also play it out slowly too. They don't know what the island is. If you know what, guys, it could have been like March of the Swirling Mist or something. That would have been insane. Yeah, GG opponent. Prosperous Thief actually would have been excellent the last few turns. We saw way too much. Let's drop them. Let's drop them the GGs. Let's give them one of these too. Oh man, that was a fun match. That was awesome. That literally could have gone either way, huh? There was a lot that we could have seen a little earlier, outside of just the mana. And does that mean like, oh, we got to drop down mana? No, we have 22 in here, and often you want to get to your third and stuff. So, let's go ahead and let's crack this pack. Let's do this. Gonna get a rare wild card too. That's nice. What we got here? Shagrat, Loot Bearer, nice. We also have the Mastery Tree, but I won't bore you guys with selecting on the Mastery Tree. Ninjas, all right. Let's go over the deck list again, guys. Here it is. The fun, really fun. I love tempo, dude. Dare I say, okay, recently, I think I've been having more fun with tempo than aggro. Now tempo obviously has aggro packed in, so I think it's okay for me to say that, right? But like it almost feels necessary with all of just like the extensive amount of removal and board wipes. Like, how many Sunfalls did we play against today, dude? And how many just removal things did we have to protect against with Cryptomancer? What a little MVP this dude was, huh? Now, he wasn't poking enough damage through in that last game, but still, really cool. I love how the ETB on the backup works so well with Thousand Face Shadow and everything. Depending on how much Sunfall you're seeing, you might want 3 slip out the back. At that point, what do you drop? I guess you could drop your land. Down to 21 wouldn't hurt too much, but it probably will hurt eventually. There's plenty of moments where you do want to see 3 or 4 because you're trying to do multiple things on the same turn, regardless of the ramp on Prosperous Thief, right? So Prosperous Thief ramp is great, fine and dandy. The extra treasures really come in handy, but it's not enough. There are plenty of turns where you need to, after you're swinging, after your ninjutsu, you still need like 2 mana open. And so 1 treasure sometimes just doesn't cut it. So having extra mana is nice. So 22 is probably the sweet spot, but you know, if you flood out as much as I did in that last game, in as many games, or as, what am I trying to say here? In a lot of different games, right? Not just one, then I could see 21 and going up the 3rd slip out the back, and you'd probably be fine. Anything else, guys? Yeah, Make Disappear was good. Silver Fur Master was great. Just be careful. Don't do what I did. I got so excited to use ninjutsu that I missed lethal damage, right? I could have just played Silver Fur, bounced the Cryptomancer, played the other Prosperous Thief, and it would have been, I think, maybe exactly the 10 we needed going through. That's another one I'll have to go back and watch to see. Guys, I got to be realistic with you. I was talking like, is it jank? Is it not? I don't think it is. I actually think it's pretty decent. But, I mean, more testing's required for sure. We didn't get to see Halo Forager today, but honestly, this could have been pretty good. Oh, Halo Forager off the top in that last game, bounced the Atraxa, also would have won us the game because we had 1 Fading Hope in the grave. Oh, yeah, dude, I like the 1 Forager in here, too. That's sick to think about because we had the mana for it for sure. Man, yeah, that really could have gone either way, huh? And then for the counter spells, again, it's your counter spells of choice, or honestly, maybe you just want to go for the throats that I was talking about, or the other pieces of removal. I could see that too. I do think I should have at least put Spell Pierce in the honorable mentions, because that's definitely one to consider as well. But if we look at like that last deck, they just cast out Atraxa uh, on its own, and so that's where like the Essence Scatter would have come in handy, or the Make Disappear, because Atraxa is very expensive to you. So yeah, really fun one, guys. Really fun. I actually think it's pretty decent, but like I said, more testing required. So if you guys end up trying this one out, you gotta let me know how it goes. I think it's relatively budget too, isn't it? Except for the mana base. I went a little ridiculous with the mana base, honestly. I believe, yeah, Kaito and Thousand Face Shadow. And of course, the mana. The mana is a lot of rares, but generally speaking, that's like the first thing we go for, right? The mana. Wow, yeah, relatively budget. And I guess it is possible to put the mana base together a little bit more budget, right? Drop down to like one Shipwreck Marsh or none at that point, because it is pretty slow. Relying on basic lands to line up for you, though, is pretty sketchy sometimes, and it might not always line up. And the Mirrex, it might be a little unnecessary too, but I still like having it in here. And obviously the Raffine's Tower too. So yeah, there's a way to put the mana base together a bit more budget. The utility lands between the Abandoned Mire and the Soaring City aren't 100% necessary, but I mean, if you can play them, you might as well, right? So, all right, guys. Yeah, that's everything. All right, enough rambling, guys. If you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you. I apologize again for that first match. The opponent must have like bugged out or something, froze. Something was going on. Seemed super weird to just like concede after that too. But yeah, that's why we have the chapters and the description and everything. Okay, guys. Hey, I will see you in the next video.